breeze. Cali in the summer breeze. Out here in Cali, from the beach to the valley, we doing it right, we keeping it tight. Out here in Cali, from the beach to the valley, we doing it right, all day and all night. Are you ready?
I hope so, because if not, maybe you should shut your computer off right now. Welcome, everybody, to Inside the Rut MX Podcast. My name is Kenny Watson, and I am your host. Before we get started, I just want to say thank you to everyone that made this possible.
Team Elite, general contracting, residential or commercial construction, and all of your landscaping needs. They've got it covered. Team Elite has over 30 years of combined experience to get your project done right. Visit EliteTeamOffices.com for more details and tell them Inside the Rut sent you. They will exceed your expectations. Cocopah Casino and Resort, located just outside of Yuma, Arizona. Headed to the river, Lake Havasu, or to Phoenix from San Diego? Well, it's on your way. Make a pit stop. Headed to Glamis? Make a short detour. Stay and play. For more information, visit their website, cocopahresort.com. That's COCOPAH resort.com. Ron's In Your Ear Audio, located in Havasu City, Arizona, taking care of all of your audio and electronic installation. They do gel coats, alarm installations, and shrink wraps. They also take care of any fiberglass needs. If you're in the area, stop in and see their showroom. Visit ronsinyourearaudio.com and tell them Inside the Rut sent you. They'll take care of you. X Brand. Searching for goggles? Search no further. Go to xbrand.com. That's EKSbrand.com and enter in the promo code ITR48 for 30% off. Works Connection. For all of your two-wheel needs. Works Connection has the products you need. Go to worksconnection.com. Hart & Huntington Tattoo. Located in Las Vegas, Orlando, Niagara Falls, and Nashville. If you're in any of these areas, stop in and tell them Inside the Rut sent you. Guts Racing. Guts Incorporated has been providing high-quality, high-performance seat covers and foam since 1990. Visit gutsracing.com to view their selection and use discount code ITRMX30 for 30% off. For direct links to our sponsors' websites, visit our website, itrmx.com.
Right on, folks. Welcome back to ITR Inside the Rut. I told you that we would be following up with some more podcasts, and that's what we're doing. So tonight, going to come in kind of hot. Not super hot. We're going to come in medium hot, medium sauce. Medium, you know, when you get your salsa and it's not super hot and it doesn't burn your tongue, but it just gives you that little flav. All right, so here we go. Tonight, the first guest we're going to have is one of the original bad boys of the sport, Mr. Weston Peick. How you doing, Weston?
Doing good, man. Just hanging out here.
Right on. Well, wanted to get you in and just, kind of round table, shoot the shit a little bit, talk about what's going on in your life today. And first and foremost, I know everyone wants to know, how's the new bike? How's everything going? Is it way better? So tell these guys what's really going on.
Yeah, so what's been going on lately is just been kind of coordinating with the team quite a bit. Been back in North Carolina for the last 2 weeks. Just got home last weekend, but everything's been going smooth. Switched to Suzuki after JGR's had a long partnership with Yamaha, and I think everybody wanted some change around there, so it ended up happening kind of out of nowhere last minute. It was a lot of talk, but never really I'd never even thought it would have happened, but some things fell into place and it ended up happening, and we ended up switching. So everybody been back there on the grind, just putting in hours and hours and hours, and at the shop till 8-9 o'clock at night, developing stuff and getting stuff ready for me and Barsha and Phil. So things been going good. I love the new bike. It's always been a favorite for me, and I enjoy riding it, and to be back on it, I'm happy. And like I said, we're getting some really good stuff going right now with JGR, and just as soon as they can kind of get in the groove of switching to the new Suzukis, I think we'll have a lot for 2017 and the future.
Yeah, for sure. I think the nucleus with Suzuki, the position they were in, I think it was a win-win for both parties. You know, myself being involved with RCH kind of, you know, knew what was going on, and then when the trigger was pulled, you know, we were all in. They were like, how do you feel? And we were just like 1,000%, you know, working with J-Bone and Coy. You know, we were kind of looking forward to it because I think we're finally going to have kind of a nucleus where we can, you know, build a program together instead of, you know, I think I think the JGR guys were kind of in the same boat, kind of bumping heads with Yamaha and not really getting the support that they were looking for. So I'm stoked. I'm looking forward to the season. I'm stoked that you're happy. I'm sure Barsha's doing backflips. So, looking forward to it. But let's go back. Let's go back into this thing. You know, everyone knows, you know, you were a longtime privateer, but a lot of people don't know the struggles before the privateer days when you were an amateur, when it was just you and your dad, and you were just that big local kid riding, you know, intermediate, and, you know, people telling you there's no way that you're going to be able to do it. You're just a fat kid. You're never going to be able to do it, and you never gave up.
Yeah, you know, going all the way back to the amateur days, that's for sure. I never would have thought I would have made it to this far, you know, where I'm at now, you know, starting a race back in, you know, 06, 07 there. You know, I remember I've seen so many faces today, the people that told me I'd never make it, and I just laugh at them now. But, you know, it's been a hard journey. It hasn't been easy. It's been a lot of pain, stress, and, you know, just family issues and stuff that go on along with that. But, you know, to be able to be here now is, you know, a huge thing to overcome, you know, with what I've had, and it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I was around when you first got your pro license, and I remember your rookie season in Supercross, and I was like, there is no way in hell this kid is going to make it. I remember your pants barely fit. You weren't jumping the rhythm sections. It was jump on, jump off. You would like jump over them and use them, you know, as a jump instead of, you know, and I was like, dude, this guy's is a distraction out there. He's going to hurt somebody. And then every year you got better and better. And then you started working with Budman, and you got on a nutritional program. And then I'm not sure what year it was. That was the year when you got on that Suzuki when you were number 46. What year was that? 13?
13, yeah.
So I remember in 12 you started to show some potential, and 13 in Supercross you were doing really well. And I seen you hit the ground harder than I've ever seen anyone hit the ground in Phoenix. And I'm like, oh my God, he's done. And I remember walking over to your truck on the way out just to see if, you know, talk to your mechanic. And your dad was there. And I'm like, hey, how's Weston? And he's like, oh, he's all right. He might have a couple broken ribs. He's coughing up blood, but he'll be ready for next week. And I'm all, what? He's like, oh, he'll be there. If sure and shit, who was on the line the next week? You know, it was a guy that wanted it, and everyone told him he couldn't do it. And, you know, to make a long story short, that year he rode for RCH for the outdoors. You rode for RCH. And I have a picture in my phone of you. See if you remember this. Colorado, that big jump in the back, you fell off the side of the bike, and you're holding on to the bike, and you have the throttle on, and you saved it. You did not crash. Do you remember that?
Probably
not.
So many things I go through.
Did all you riders hit your head so many times? You're all up.
Well, it's not even that. It's you crash so many times you tend to forget.
Yeah, but that summer, I mean, that.
Well, no, because that was I rode for you guys
13.
When I was in 14, number 40. Remember? WP 40.
Yes, you're correct.
Yeah, so number 46 was my first year on Suzuki.
Yes, you're correct.
But
in Supercross, you ate crap with number 40 on your
with
bike.
46.
Was it
no,
40?
40, that's right. It was 40. Yeah, I did a
because I was like, we need to get Peick. As soon as Tickle got hurt or Ivan got hurt, I don't know. Both of them were always getting hurt. I said, we need to get Peick. And everyone's like, Peick? And I'm like, I'm telling you right there, that dude is going to do it. Because you didn't really ride outdoors up to that. Really, you didn't have that many seasons outdoor, did you?
No, because it was, doing privateer stuff I did in 2011 and 12. I had done outdoors, and it was just a shit show. And
you were on the Cowies, right?
Yeah, I was on Yamaha. I think in 2012 I rode
everything.
I rode a Yamaha for Supercross. Then I had Cowies for outdoors, and then I said, I'm not riding these anymore because I just had no support with anything. So then I just ended up taking my dad's Suzuki in late 2012. So I think I rode 3 brands that year. So
that's awesome.
But that's just something you could do when you're not with a team. You can do whatever you want, just to find what works best.
What I think your breakout race for you outdoors was probably Glen Helen that year, right? Where you top 10'd it. And that's when I remember the first time I really saw your name when you first turned pro and you went to Glen Helen, and you did pretty good, right? What was that?
Yeah, my first year in 2009, I was privateer and I finished 9th overall there. And then I ended up signing with Moto Concepts the following weekend, and that was a shit show on from there. So with just that whole team and just kind of.
Did you stay on that team the whole season? The rest of
the
outdoors?
Yeah, the rest of the outdoors. Yeah, I'd sign with them and just.
How was it? How was that having Tony Alessi your team manager?
No, then it wasn't.
Oh, it's Volman?
There was no Alessi. It was
Alan Brown?
No.
Oh, that guy.
Steve Lamson was our team manager then.
Oh, Lambskin.
Yeah, Lambskin, and Sorby was there. So.
Oh boy.
Yeah, it was. It definitely what was going on with the bikes was just the stupidest things ever happening. With just motors blowing up, and you couldn't only imagine what would happen on that team. It happened with stuff falling apart, breaking this and that, and then dealing with the people that are on that team. Some are good people, and some weren't. But
yeah, I think Tony. I think that team is getting. I think they have a bad rap, but I really, really think that it's getting better. I really think that their bikes are getting better. I think that they have a bad rap. I think Mike has a terrible rap, but I think he's an okay kid. But I just think that it's one of those deals. You're in the game long enough, you have to get better, else you go away. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean that's definitely how it goes. I think the team now from back in 2009 to now, they definitely have their stuff together.
Yeah.
But with who they hire and who they have run their team, I don't think a lot of people agree with it.
Yeah, I was pretty stoked that we could get you that year in 13, and our goal was for you was either to keep you for the future or get you a really good ride. Mm-hmm. And we were fortunate with the equipment we had. It wasn't the best stuff. The bikes weren't the fastest bikes back then, and we were all learning when we got on Suzuki's. But you had some. You had some top 5 results in there a couple times, and it opened up some people's eyes, and we were stoked that you got that offer to go to JGR. I mean, we were happy for you, and we felt like we did our job, and you were off and going, and it was cool, and we always been cool, and it's been a pretty good relationship that you've worked out with James and J-Bone.
Yeah, it's definitely picking up with you guys in 2014 outdoors. That definitely set me up to be able to have that eye-opening opportunity to be able to move to a factory level team. Just from you guys hiring me, and then being able to get something from there, even though you guys weren't able to hire me that next year, but to be able to
you wanted too
get
much money,
step.
dude.
Money. I didn't even care what I made back then because I didn't have any money.
No, you wanted too much money from us, and then you had to go to Deep. Coy had to go, Dad, we need to get more money to pay Weston, Dad.
No,
then
I wasn't asking for much. I took what I can get. Then.
Yeah, we didn't have that much. I mean, dude, the following year we didn't hire anybody out of the box.
No, because we
didn't hire no one.
Didn't you have Roxanne in 2015?
Yeah. No, but we didn't hire that. You weren't on the bike then. You were on the bike in 13.
14.
Bull crap.
14.
You rode JGR 2 years, dude.
15 and 16 JGR. I had my own team in Supercross for 14, and then you guys hired me.
Dude, we had an all yellow bike. You were number 40, right?
In 2014.
Yep, you're right. I'm an idiot. God, I hate getting called out on my own podcast. Fucking guy. All right, let's move on from there. Move on from there because I just felt like I just got kicked in the balls. Got to ask you a question.
What you like?
Got to ask you a question. Why, in your whole career, have you let Vince Freeze just punk you? I'm going to take you back to the very beginning at Portland at that money race, and then you went to Washougal. He dorked you there. Then he got on top of you and started pounding your head in, just just bitch slapped you, and then you felt so bummed and pissed. And then in Supercross, the guy's always just he's been your nemesis. What's that word I'm looking for? Nemesis.
Yeah.
There you go.
So, you know, that kid is just a fucking shitbag. And, you know, off the bike, the kid's completely normal. He's not an idiot. But, you know, like, we've been having beef from all the way back in 2012, probably way before that, you know what I mean? But, you know, it all started up there in Washington or whatnot. But, you know, I hit him up there a few times, you know, in that race when he took me out intentionally. You know, I think he finds a person and he's got some sort of retard mode on him when he gets on his dirt bike where he, you know, just has no self-control and just thinks he could do it every once and there's no repercussions about it. But, you know, yeah, it's just one of those people that, you know, I think they never learn and they're never going to learn. So, and then, you know, like with my situation, it was like, I have a very short temper, and like, I mean, I have a temper, but there's certain people that when you piss me off, like, I'm gonna swing at you and do whatever I want. But
do you or your brother have more of a short temper?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, my brother now has a very short temper.
Well,
But
that's what steroids do to you.
yeah, so that's why in the gym 3 hours a day will do to you. You just fucking stress you out. You know, you just want to get out, but you're stuck in the gym. But you know, I think nowadays I have a longer temper because I have to, because with what, you know, I have going for me and in front of me, you know, I have to keep my composure. But some things that happened this year in Anaheim 1, it was like a thing where I just saw red and just wanted to rip his throat out because I'm so sick and tired of the bullshit from this kid. And if it wasn't for me doing that, he never would have learned and he would have kept on doing the same crap and then getting some pussy slap on the wrist from AMA and Feld and then making some, not Feld, sorry, FIM and
What's the guy's
AMA.
name? What's the guy's name?
I don't even remember his name because it was a shit call, but
Maybe John Gallagher?
John Gallagher. But, you know, nothing against John Gallagher. You know, he's got his own job to do and, you know, he has rules, but sometimes, you know, people don't agree with his rules, but whatever.
Do you know, this is what's funny. What you do for a living, you're a professional athlete. You're racing, you know, Supercross, 17 rounds, and then you race the outdoors. You're racing professionally 32 weekends out of the year. And all the development, testing, millions and millions and millions of dollars goes into development, just not for you, but for every team and every rider out on that track that's, you know, lining up on that line. Then the FIM and the AMA has dudes that are the sanctioning body of the race and dudes that are the referee that work part-time, and they go to work during the week, and some are plumbers, some are electricians, some are garbage men. I have a problem with that. You know what I mean? And then these guys think that because they're in this prestigious position that they can swing a big dick. And it pisses me off. Like, we had an issue with Brock back in the day when, speak of Moto Concepts, Michael Lessie torpedoed him intentionally. And this guy tried to tell me with a straight face it was an accident. And I said, okay, you're talking about Michael Lessie, the same guy that took out Ivan Tedesco that was trying to rip his kill button off. Okay? That was an accident too, he said. I said, nothing against Mike, because Mike has been trained that way. He's one of those same guys that puts his helmet on and just loses all control. He wants to do whatever he needs to win. I get it. I'm not mad at Mike. I'm not mad. I'm mad at the situation. But for you to sit here and do nothing about it, and not even throw, like, he didn't even take Brock out of the Mike, red, you know, black flag him. But then you got that situation that happened with Chad Reed and with Trey, and they black flag Chad Reed.
Which was a bullshit call.
Was a total bullshit call. He made a decision that quick when he should have analyzed it, went and looked at video, and really made a decision, just like he did with Michael Lessie. He didn't do anything to Michael Lessie. He said, we're going to go back and look at the tape after the race, blah, blah, blah. Well, after the race, it's over.
Yeah.
You're not going to suspend him. So what I'm trying to get at is your actions were your actions. You got suspended, you got fined, whatever happened, it happened. But what I'm trying to get at is these dudes that make those decisions, they have nothing to lose when they do that to a guy like you, because they go back to their job on Monday and they work, 9 to 5, where you're out at the test track, your team's putting development into your bike. That's what I'm trying to get at. These guys, I think, we need to find the right people in the right places, and maybe John Gallagher is the right guy if the FIM can pay him full time. But a guy to do that to a guy like you, or to Chad, or to Michael Essie, or anybody, I think you need to have the credentials, and you need to be in there to know what you're going to lose if you take someone's longevity away from them and says you're not going to race tonight. When he took Chad Reed's points away from that night and did that to him, he just said, you know what, I'm taking $2 million away from you, because Chad Reed had no chance of winning the championship after that.
Yeah. It's definitely a sore subject. I don't agree with most of the things that go on and the calls that get shot out here. It's turning into a fucking bunch of ballerina calls out here and stuff like that. But it's, even my call was kind of shitty to be able to ban me for 2 races and this and that. And I would have been fine with just paying a bigger fine, to support their precious little part-time jobs that they have, just to be able to race on the weekend. You know what I mean? Because like I said, we're out here testing and putting in so much money, with the teams, and we're not out there racing. It's a bit of a shitty call, but there's nothing we could do until we can actually get away from an organization like those people. And I think here in the future, with having conversations with some other people that are actually wanting to make the sport better, I think in the next couple of years it's going to be a lot better. I think everybody's going to be in a better position and be able to eliminate some people like that. Yeah. And I think everybody's going to be on an up and up.
Yeah. Let me ask you a question. In your situation, did Vince get suspended?
No, not at all. I think he still raced that night, didn't he? Yeah, he still raced.
What about
that
the
night,
next race? Because you got suspended the next race too, right?
Yeah, I got suspended that night.
Nothing happened to him for the next weekend.
No.
He was riding dirty.
Yeah. I mean, it's just stupid because I tried to.
That was twice.
Yeah, it was twice. I tried to justify it to I can't even remember his name. I don't know why.
John.
To John, I tried to justify it to him that he intentionally punted me off the track the second time, and that was intentional. I was just self-defense. You're going to put your motorcycle at me wide open into a turn and hit me so hard to where you snap off my entire front brake line, and you break plastics, you break my radiator. You hit me that hard, and you're going to break my bike, and then you're going to tell me that shit wasn't intentional. That's just how pitiful some of these people are that make calls.
Yeah, I mean, it's the same thing exactly happened with Alessi.
Yeah.
I mean, torpedoed his bike. But hey, you know what? It is what it is. And just like you said, nothing's going to change until, people stand up for it. Yeah. And so just wanted to catch up with Weston. And anything else you want to rap about, or you want to get off your chest? I know it's election night, and we're all sitting here going Trump or, Hillary Clinton. We're talking about a woman that, could be our president.
Yeah. I mean, I don't have much to say. There's not much to say. I mean, considering I'm more of a Trump supporter because it's a better go for this country versus Hillary, where she's just such a corrupt criminal, and just some of the things that she has going for her are just why would anybody even want to vote for this lady? And I don't like to get too much into it. I just like to rile people up on my social media and just post Trump posts, and I make a shirt, and I just tonight I just posted a picture tonight on there, and I'm hashtag any of you Hillary voters, leave your comments to yourself. But then I still get those idiots on there commenting, and I just ended up I love blocking people. I used to get really pissed off and talk shit back, but now I just block them and just laugh. And
I think blocking someone is the most irritating thing you can do to someone because they can't talk to you, and they're so pissed, and they just want to get, and you're just laughing.
Yeah.
But all right, dude. Well, I just want to thank you for coming by and checking in, and hopefully we could do one later down the road during the season, and check in on you and the team, and hopefully you're happy and everything works out, and I hope you have a successful season, my friend.
Yeah, same here, man. Glad to be on, and should be back here soon.
All right. Thanks, Weston. All right, everyone, we're back again, and I want to thank everyone for tuning in and hanging in there. Our next guest, very, very special person, as everyone always is to me. We have a woman. Her name is Lori Amstutz, and what she does is she works with the Road to Recovery that was started in 2000 after Jimmy Button's injury. And if people don't know what the Road to Recovery, you will know about it after you listen to this. So everybody, welcome Lori Amstutz.
Hello. Thank you so much for having me.
Our pleasure, Lori. I hope everyone enjoys that sweet voice because you know what? She is just as pretty in person as her voice. And you guys probably seen her at the races, working and raffling off. And I want to tell you before we start, this is what a small world it is, and people are going to go bullshit. But I'm telling you right now, this had nothing to do with it. The person that won Dusty Abbott's 500 is a friend of mine. And he is going to race that bike at Day in the Dirt.
Oh, that's so cool. That is so awesome.
That's rad. And he bought $100 worth of raffle tickets and he won that bike. And he called me when he got it and I was like, no way. He's like, yeah. But anyways, that's just another rad thing that they do. So Lori, can you just give us a little background about the road and how far it's come in the last 16 years and the direction that you guys are looking to go and grow? I think that you guys have helped out numerous athletes that have been downed from, injuries. And a lot of people think it's just motorcycles or motocross, but it's across the board in action sports.
Correct. So Road to Recovery, we're a 501c3 nonprofit foundation. We were established in 2000. And so far since that date, we have raised over $3.5 million to assist over 45 injured athletes. And that's again through supercross and motocross, all of action sport genres, as well as internationally. So because of people like you and our fans, we've been able to raise all this money, and it all goes back to the riders when they're hurt.
That's
yeah.
Go ahead. Sorry.
So we'll talk about Jesse Nelson. So far, we've been able to raise for him almost $230,000. And it kind of sounds like a lot, but for us right now, his physical therapy bills are $2,400 a month, and insurance isn't covering any of that. Plus the bills that he's gotten when he was in the hospital, the flight from New Jersey back, the flight from the track to New Jersey, all these things add up. And kind of like you said, Jimmy Button, when he first got hurt, his first medical bill was so large, it legitimately came in a box. It couldn't fit into an envelope. It was UPS delivered in a box. So back then, riders didn't have an assistance like Road to Recovery Foundation to help, counteract the insurance coding and fight for them. So Jimmy had to pretty much do it all on his own with the help of his family. And because of that experience, him, Bob Moore, Bob Walker, and Anita pulled their resources and created the foundation. And really, they wanted just to help riders because they've been in that situation.
Yeah, that's, I would have to say that I was around when that started, and it's crazy because it seems like yesterday. I can remember sitting in San Diego, sitting in the stands, waiting for our practice to start, watching Jimmy fall, and it was like the first lap, it was like he was going 3 miles an hour, he tips over, he was down a while. I remember Anita jumping up when, the medics went out there and put him on the board and knew something was wrong. I had that gut-wrenching feeling like, oh, God, something's wrong. And then I heard later what happened. And, I've known Jimmy and I knew the situation. And when the Road to Recovery started, I was like, man, this is going to be tough. And I know the community, the motocross community, really tried to rally together and do the best it could. And I really think in the last 3 to 4 years that it's really, really grown legs. And people are really helping out. And it's kind of I hate to say it, but it's kind of a shitty deal that it takes someone to get injured before it gets people's attention. Like Jesse, for instance, I really think that there's other guys that get hurt, that maybe aren't Jesse Nelson at that level. And they're just, a guy racing, the intermediate class at a local track that gets injured, and he's not going to get that attention like Jesse Nelson. But I think if we all rallied together and got this, nonprofit up and have funds where it should, I think everybody could get help, no matter who you are.
100%. We have the Rider Endowment Fund, which endowment fund, it's a very big word, and I had to do hours of Googling when I got hired to figure out what the hell that meant. Like, we need to come up with a better term. But basically, if you just help donate to Road to Recovery, your money goes into that fund. And in that fund, we're able to basically insure a rider if he gets hurt. So Jared Williams, who was hurt a while ago, he suffered a spinal cord injury as well. He's progressing awesomely. He's standing up. His legs are moving. He's kicking ass and taking names, basically. But he's a lesser known. He's not a Jesse Nelson. So we didn't have a huge fund for him, but we were able to tap into our endowment fund and give him $75,000 plus all the crowdfunding. So right now, unfortunately, kind of like what you said, we rely so heavily on our industry when a rider does get hurt because we don't have that endowment built up where we want it to.
Yeah, I agree. Like, I sorry to cut you off. I agree.
No
and like your post and everything the road's doing for Jesse, when I see all this gear and all this stuff, and I really think, like, how hard is it for, each factory rider or each rider that races Supercross to call their apparel company and say, hey, I need an extra set of gear this weekend, and just sign it off to, Road to Recovery every weekend. And then you guys can auction it off and do what you want every weekend instead of waiting for a situation. Because I always say, like, these guys never know. It could be them next, and they're going to be in that situation, or they might not be. And let's hope they're never in that situation. But if they are, there's something there. And I know these guys want to do that, but some of these guys are just so caught up in the now, and they don't ever think it's going to happen. And it's just crazy.
That, and I completely agree with you. I just want to say the support that the riders have been giving us is pretty phenomenal. We do our eBay auctions around Supercross where they donate, one rider a week donates a jersey, and we're able to do a rig tour and a track walk with Supercross.
Yep.
And we're able to raise a lot of funds that way. But in the grand scheme of things, it's definitely not huge. But the amount of industry support with Jesse or for Jesse with TLD and Red Bull and like Ken Roxon and Dungy, I mean, I can't even tell you like how taken aback I am with those teams and people and writers that have been able to donate stuff and go out of their way to help us fund for him. I'm totally grateful. I'm at a loss of words just how happy I am because of them. But yeah, definitely do what you're saying. If we had an ability to raise more money throughout the years, we wouldn't have to do this type of reactionary funding, that we're doing now.
I'm just asking because I don't know, and this could be a very slippery slope on my end for saying this, but I really don't give a shit. Why don't the promoters, Feld Indoors and MX Sports Outdoors, take 25 or 50 cents off of every ticket and donate it to the Road to Recovery?
Well, here's the deal. Feld and Outdoors margin, honestly, is pretty small. And so we can't really rely on them to do that. And there's a lot of legality issues once they cross that bridge for them. Feld is a privately held company, and if they were to start donating funds that way, it would open up their books, and they're a partner of ours, and so is MX Sports. We wouldn't want to put them in that position. What they do on the backside without anyone's knowledge is so huge for us that both of those entities donate their time, their personal time, their company time, funds, and access so much so, and they prefer to rename or to name anonymous, that I couldn't even go into the extent that they help us. So I would never expect that. What we're really trying and pushing for is more education to the writers and access to the writers with knowledge like, hey, you need a better insurance policy. Get MedJet. Like, we have a MedJet policy that's $100 and something a year, and that's it for the whole year. And if you get hurt in Timbuktu, it's going to cost you nothing to fly home. I mean, what it costs over $50,000 to fly someone from New Jersey to California.
Well,
if
you know
don't
what?
have
You
a
know what? I
MedJet
think,
policy.
and this is just me thinking out loud. And shoot me down if you want, just like you did on that last idea I had. By the way, no,
Sorry.
but I like that because I always thought like, you know what? Why don't these guys do more? And I didn't know that. Now my hat, like I respect that because they want to be anonymous. I get that, and that's rad. But my deal is maybe the teams need to say, hey, you know what, man? Your contract is for 400, 425,000, not 450, because we are going to insure you with MedJet and this and that and blah, blah, blah. So we can help the rider because, when a rider's on a team, the team, when the rider does good, gets all the applause and all the rewards and all that stuff. And the rider, if he gets hurt, he's pretty much on his own. There's good teams like TLD and who stick behind their guys and all that stuff. But I hate to say this, but there's been many of my friends that have, been put in wheelchairs. And the first few years, everyone's like, on has their back. But as soon as time goes by, those people disappear. And if the teams can help financially in that way right now, I think it would be way better. And for the teams, they do a budget. So why don't they just make a line item for rider insurance? We will go out and we will insure a rider if they get bonuses because we don't want to pay. Why can't we get rider insurance for them if they get injured? Not just get the rewards if they don't. I mean, I'm saying that from a team standpoint, and I'm part of a team. And I think that's a great idea.
I couldn't, you are making me want to cry right now. Yes. I just think it's a lack of education. You're 100% right. If that was an option, that's hands down, that's my goal.
All right, well, let's work on that together. I think that's something definitely like you said, it's $150. And if you have, 4 guys on your team? I mean, really? Come on. You spend more than that in sodas in 2 weekends. Come on. If it's going to really, really help a down guy and help, it is what it is. And like, everyone's like, everyone turns their back on these guys after years go by and blah, 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 blah. But you know what the fact is? These riders know what they're doing. And this is the chance they all take when they throw their legs over. And that's why it's so like these guys want to get paid a lot of money. I get it. You guys do it. The sport, you need to get paid more, but it's it's the first extreme sport, and it's a gnarly sport, and those are the chances you take. But the risk for reward is not worth it at the end of the day. If you're asking me, these guys want to go do it, my hat's off to you. But if us as an industry and a team, and maybe it's not the team, maybe it's their gear company, maybe it's whoever it is, this is nothing in the big picture. Nothing if we can help family, if we can help the rider. But I got a new goal, Lo.
Yeah.
New goal.
Thank you.
Yeah, let's do this.
Yes. My main education, that's kind of our main drive this year, is educating the riders, educating agents who manage these riders, educating teams about the policies and opportunities that they can have, educating the public on the fact that if a rider gets hurt, insurance sucks ass, and not every single factory team can afford to take care of their rider after an injury happens. Unfortunately, the way insurance is right now, especially with spinal cord injury, they're just paying for that patient to get used to living in a chair.
Yeah, that ain't cool. Yeah, okay, I get it. Yeah, well, I think I mean, what you guys are doing at Road Recovery is just amazing, amazing. Like I said, I've watched it grow from the beginning to where it's at now. I thought it was awesome when Jimmy went back to San Diego and he hopped on his bicycle and he said, "I'm riding across America." I thought that was crazy. I was following him when he got, all the stuff he went through. And, I'm mind boggled how awesome this deal is. And I just don't think that, we're educated enough to really understand what's really going on. And, and I'm a supporter. That's why I wanted to have you on the show. And I know that, that with you going there, working there, a lot of things are happening behind the scenes. And, I really see that, the Road to Recovery in the future is going to be, a household name, and which I think it should be around the whole universe.
Oh, that's awesome. Thank you very much for your support. I appreciate that.
Yeah. So what's our next step? What's the biggest goal that the people listening to this podcast can do to help with this foundation?
So my number one goal right now for motocross, supercross is specifically getting Dusty Nelson a Sprinter van. I got one price quote at $55K, and so I'm pretty much doing everything I possibly can to make this happen. All of that, obviously, with the support, there's multiple ways that people can help support. There's posters that they can buy. There's stickers. There's Ethica making those underwear, which were phenomenal. Hopefully, we're going to be able to release a T-shirt pretty soon. But all those things help contribute to making the Sprinter van a possibility.
Okay, let me hold you off right there. So once he gets a Sprinter van, does it have to be built out for him to be able to get in it and operate it and all that stuff, or how's that work?
No, it does. Basically, we're going to have to pull everything out and kind of completely 100% customize it for him. We needed to. The reason why it's a little bit more expensive than your typical Sprinter van is because he still goes out to the track. He still has friends who race. So it's got to be off-road capable. And with that, there's a lot more customization that's going to need to be applied to it.
Okay. So is that $55,000 with all of that done to it?
Pretty much, yeah. There's going to be a little bit more, but for the most part, yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, when we get off this call, I have something that I think I can help you out with on that. But yeah. Yeah, that's awesome. So if people are out there listening and you want to help this, I'm sure can they go to roadrecovery.com and see all the stuff that, like the Ethica underwear are sick. If you guys are into the Ethica brand, and they made a pair of Jesse Nelson underwear that are pretty sweet. So check those out. And I'm sure there's all kinds of other stuff on there that you could donate, or is there a fund that they could just donate money to if they want to chip in, just to donate money to the road with a tax write-off or something?
100%. If they just want to donate to the Road to Recovery Foundation, that's an option. It's on the website. If you want to donate to one of the 40-something causes that we currently have active, that's under causes. Just click their face or their picture, and you can donate straight to there. And if you donate into Jesse's fund, that money will go to refabbing his house, paying for his medical bills. We're trying to get him a new bike. It's a training bike for spinal cord injury, and also getting him that Sprinter van. So all those funds go directly to that cause.
All right. So check this out. If we can make this happen through Inside the Rut, I'm going to edit a song. Remember the song Rick Springsteen, or what's his name? Jesse's Girl?
Yeah.
We're going to change the lyrics around, and it's going to be Jesse's World, and we're going to get this guy back on his feet.
Oh, that's so awesome.
Hey, one last thing I wanted to talk to you about, and maybe you can get this straight for me, because I've battled with people over this, and they've told me I'm full of shit. And maybe you don't know, but I'm pretty sure you do. Can you explain the whole deal with GoFundMe pages when someone gets hurt?
Yes. So thank you for bringing that up, by the way. So GoFundMe is kind of its own animal. Unfortunately, whoever starts the page will get taxed. So if your fund ends up creating $1,000 for your next door neighbor sister's Girl Scout team, that person is 100% liable or responsible for that tax on there. Now, they also take up to 30% of that 100,000 raised, which is pretty ridiculous if you
Wow.
ask me. So, yeah, not only is that person who started the fund going to be taxed on it on the whole amount raised, but they're also going to hold back 30%.
Wow. So the person that's getting the money is literally getting 40% of the money.
Pretty much, yeah. When
Wow.
it comes down to it, yes.
Okay, so everyone listening to this podcast, this is even a better reason to go to Road to Recovery if you want to help somebody. And maybe those people are
Yes.
on, yeah, awesome. Right on. Well, if you didn't know
But-
about Road to Recovery, you know about it now. Lo, we're going to have you back on again here soon. I would like to, keep in contact, and maybe we can do, every couple of months get you on and do updates on the guys that are injured and see what they're doing. But like I said, do you want to give a shout out to all your handles from Twitter to Instagram, website, all that good stuff where people can get a hold of the road?
Yeah, it's all at Road to Recovery. That's it. Our website is roadtorecovery.com. All of our handles are at Road to Recovery.
Awesome.
Easy.
Well, Lo,
Yeah. And thank you so much for having me on. I appreciate it. I appreciate your time. This has been phenomenal.
no. Thank you. I mean, what you're doing is amazing, and I want to thank you for your time. And we'll see you at Day to Get Hurt. I mean, Day in the Dirt.
Sounds awesome. Thank you.
Okay. Have a good night.
You as well. Bye.
Bye. All right, folks. This is kind of a podcast that I've done in the past, but not in this. I haven't done this podcast on the Inside the Rut podcast. I did it on another one, and I really, really enjoyed talking to this guy. And I wanted just to bring him back onto Inside the Rut because I really think his story is touching and inspiring for a lot of people out there that are in the struggle and in the battle. So, saying that, I'd like to introduce everybody to Mr. Shane Best. What's happening, Shane?
What up, Kenny? What up, dude? Thanks for having me. I appreciate it. And yeah, it's a cool deal.
Cool, man. Well, like I said, this is kind of a repeat podcast. I didn't know if a lot of people, even knew I did a podcast with you, and you're special to me. I consider you a really good friend, and I just wanted to, get you back on here to tell your story because I think it's a really a good story, and I think it could really help other people. And you and me both being in recovery, I think that's our goal in life is to help other people and do the best we can. So let's kick it off here, and let's start from the beginning, man. A lot of people, grow up and race dirt bikes and motorcycles that are from the high desert, or they're from a community where it's easy access. But you grew up in a coastal community called Boxnard, or Oxnard as you would like to call it. But you grew up in a agriculture community where there's a lot of strawberry picking and stuff like that, and a lot of fighters come out of Oxnard, correct?
Yes, sir. You got that right. Yeah, we live down here in Oxnard. It's agricultural. It's like really rich soil, and it grows a bunch of strawberries, but no one will let me fucking go tear it up with my dirt bike. So I was always kind of bummed about that. I never got it, but yeah, you grow up and you learn, kind of realize you just can't go ride your dirt bike everywhere. But yeah, we're known for boxers, surfers, strawberries. Yeah, that's what's going down over here. No dirt bike racing.
So, like when you were growing up, like when you first started to ride, I know your dad, Mike, he probably was into dirt bike. He got you into it. So you guys had to, like, for you to go riding, you had to travel. It wasn't like, all right, son, we're going to go ride in the backyard today. You guys had to load up the truck and go. So there was probably many hours in that truck with you and your pops going, at the beginning to go riding.
Oh yeah, bro. My dad's a roofer, so luckily he owned his own company on purpose to make my racing happen. I would get pulled out of school early, pretty consistently to run out to LACR, which is like 2 hours away, Glen Helen 2 hours away. If I was lucky, like Castake back in the day had a track, and that was, I got lucky with that one. That was an hour. So as a kid, it was like picked up. You're getting dressed in the truck, and you're doing homework on the way to go ride, and you're doing homework in the car light on the way home. And if you didn't get your homework finished, it was okay as long as you ripped today. That's kind of what I had going on. But yeah, it was a big test for my father. I didn't realize it, but we put in a lot of work, and it was hard work, and we traveled and to be a pro in the sport, it requires you to travel all over the nation to make a name in the sport. It requires you to travel everywhere, and not just travel, but to get good results. A lot of pressure comes with it. A lot of pressure, stress put on parents trying to make the money to get to the races, and then take a little kid and he's just this little game dog, it's like good results or no results, and hey, it's a rough sport.
Yeah, for sure. When did it all turn the corner when it got really serious for you? Like, like when all of a sudden, 6 to 8 motorcycles showed up in your driveway and the pressure was on to go win titles and to say, okay, this is real now. This is not me and my pops getting in the truck and going to, to LACR, Glen Helen, or Castake. It was like, okay, we are going to, this is for real, and we have to go out and race to win championships. And when you were racing at that high level, who were some of your competitors that you raced against?
Yeah, it turned serious real quick. I mean, it always seemed serious in the beginning because it was kind of a big deal to go travel across the country. Like the competitor and anyone, like we weren't going to play games and like to pit bike ride and stuff. Like we wanted to go kick ass no matter what. But it got real serious. Like I was a Team Green rider, like a 50% off dude type of deal. Got some Team Green stickers and that deal, but I got a couple titles over Stewart at the World Mini Grand Prix. I forget what year, but we were on 60s. And when I made that noise, I got picked up by Suzuki, and that's like you said. That's when the 5, 6, 7, 8 bikes started showing up at the garage in the crates, and yeah, we got real serious. Like, not even just pressure from the manufacturer or anything, but we wanted to win because we knew we could, and there was no reason to go to we were striving to be the best, and it's possible. So you're just like willing to do whatever it took at all costs. I was homeschooled. I was getting shipped off for multiple weeks at a time to different places with different friends that raced. Buy bonds up in Bakersfield and Johnson Ship and Candy Country, and go out to Millsap's facility before it was Millsap's facility for a summer, and yeah. So by the time I hit 80s, I was a factory mini bike rider, and
were you getting paid?
We got, they had different ways of doing it. I don't think I was paid directly, but like double contingency and different race bonuses and stuff like that, and super large parts deals and extra bikes at the pink slips. So
what about clothing and boots and helmets and gear and all that? Did you wear Cinesalo like through your amateur career?
I was a Cinesalo dude. Yeah, me and MC 1993, rookie MC really won all of them, and I was wearing the same gear. I was so pumped.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember that. I didn't know you or see you, but I would just see photos of you, the up and coming kid, and you had that MC look with the big number 34 on the Suzuki.
I got to do a little modeling gig for Cinesalo for the catalog with MC back in that like 92, 93, and it was way cool. And my first set of gear was the all white Jeff Ward Cinesala, just the all white with like the blue S on it. I was pretty stoked because nobody else really wore it, just those two dudes. But it made me pumped on it. But yeah, sponsor wise, dude, shoes, speakers, kicker, Etnies, DVS. I mean, everything, clothing, just flooding. Whatever. It was like Christmas. Whenever, you know, you call and order as much as you want, and those are the days, bro. I wish I could get a new set of lenses for my goggles right now, but yeah.
Right on. Well, so like, what after your amateur career, I think your deal went to like when you signed to be an 80 rider. You had a deal in your contract that you would at least get 1 or 2 years at the factory level. Is that how it works?
Yeah, I didn't get a 2-year deal. I had an offer to, I think Yamaha at Troy was a 2-year deal, and I went with Suzuki with the 1-year deal. It ended up being a bad move. Wish I'd have had that 2-year deal on a decent bike because the route I took, I had a really good bike for 1 year, had injuries and didn't. And then the next year when I had a little maturity and I kind of knew the gig, I wasn't as nervous, and I felt myself doing the right things, and I had the confidence in myself. But then I didn't have the confidence in the bikes. I was actually scared shitless of the bikes I was riding. Not to say they were bad, but they were blowing up on all of us, so that hindered me. But yeah, we had just a 1-year deal, and that was a bad move for sure.
Right on. All right. So after that whole thing, when it all came to an end after that second year, what was your next move? Like you came up, you had 2 years, and I think that is right when I pretty much became friends with you, and kind of I kind of knew your dad from just being around, and I kind of seen like the rebel coming out of you a little bit. I started seeing you. I would go down to Famous, and I would see you down there. I would go down there with Heath Pinter, and I would see you down there, and you were friends with Travis and some of the other dudes. And I seen a little edge to you. Like I knew that you weren't just that normal dirt bike kid. And I kind of seen the corner. You turning the corner a little bit on the getting into some little mischief and dabbling in some chemicals. Is that true?
Yeah, it's completely true. Every dabbling in life, bro. Like I lived such a restricted lifestyle, being a child, a kid, and then on top of that, just being a dirt bike kid. My dad was really, really tough on me, really protective of me, should I say. There was like, no girls calling the house, no going to the skating rink on the weekends to hang out with friends. It was like motocross or nothing from the time I was 10, 11, And so now fast forward, and I'm having some bad luck in racing. I have a new car, new truck. I'm dressed nice. I can do whatever I want. I got bank of money. I got all these friends and freedom. Dad, I ain't answering dad's calls no more. I'm just doing my own thing, and I'm just growing up, and along with that, of course, there's injuries and dabbling with the prescription drugs, which I didn't even consider drugs. Vicodin was kind of my gateway thing, but I wasn't even thinking that was a drugs. I've been taking those since I started breaking bones at 8 years old. And
so why don't you stop right there? Let's go back to being 8 years old. Can you remember being 8 years old, 10 years old, having an injury, and either your parents or another parent or someone saying, take this and you'll be fine? And after you did take that, the feeling that it gave you.
Yeah, I remember being a youngster, dude, and mom would give me my medication. I mean, I snapped 8 collarbones during my teenage years, and I remember her giving it to me, and it was no big deal. I would read the label, and I'd see Vicodin or whatever it was, and And I remember when I was real young, I was only allowed to have a half or something. And I remember playing Mario Brothers and feeling a little bit fuzzy and yeah, I didn't realize that there was a term called getting high. I didn't know I was getting high at the time. I was broken, but yeah, you get comfortable with those things, and then as a adult, or what I would call an adult at 18 years old, I'm now taking quadruple the dosage because I like the way it makes me feel, and I'm not worried about nothing, and I'm getting high, you know.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's one of those drugs that's cunning, baffling, and powerful, and it tells us that we don't have a problem. And I think at that young of age, I think it's very, 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 what's the word I'm looking for in our sport? I think it's very active, and I think there's a lot of people doing it more than people want to admit and people want to think. And I think that a guy like you, and there's a bunch of other guys that want to talk about what's really going on in this sport. And what I want to get into next is how deep this really got in your life. Like, how low did it take you? And and I think people really need to hear this. And I think if they're gonna like it or not like it, but they need to know how dark and how low can take a person.
hmm Yeah, dude. I think awareness should be raised in the sport. Who knows how many people, but I do know, like, some of our close friends, me and yours. There's just a lot of big names that have gone out to this stuff and still are out there struggling, and then the sport itself isn't very opening. Like, hands and arms aren't open to you once people know you got problems. They're like, fuck this guy, throw him in the trash, flush him down the toilet, and shun him. You'll be good one weekend, and then people will shy away from you walking through the pits. In this sport, it's a real true story though, you forget people are people, man. You gotta lift people up. You gotta make it okay. I think there should be something going on within the sport, where people feel okay. That stigma of being a drug addict or having a problem, that ego trip where I'm a man, I'm a motocrosser, gets thrown out the window, and people are treated as people. I don't know of anything like that here. No substance abuse, anything in our sport. Really,
Yeah. I mean, if you go to any other sport, if they use NASCAR, they have a thing called road recovery, just like we do. And if you get caught with anything, if you get a DUI, if you get caught taking Adderall, or you get taken anything, they put you in a treatment center and they help you recover. They help you.
Yeah.
And the football, the same thing. Baseball, the same thing. Everyone has a thing. But everyone has to remember this. Supercross, motocross, riding a motorcycle or a dirt bike is probably one of the dangerous sports there can be. Sean Palmer said it best. These golfers make hundreds of thousands of dollars when they're 40th, 50th on the tour. He goes, why don't they make it interesting and make it extreme golf and put a shotgun to their knees? And if they miss a putt, they get their knees blown off. Because that's what you guys would do night in, night out, day after day, practicing. Everyone thinks that you just go out on the weekend and race. That's not when the injuries happen most of the time. They happen during the week when these guys are training and riding. So
yeah.
So
we're fighting for this position. We got, and then we're gladiators. You go hurt. I don't know how many times I've been hurt, and you just have to do it. It goes with the job, and so does the medications. But
do you think you've raced? Have you raced fully loaded before?
Oh yeah, I've raced fully loaded in an honest fashion, trying to actually out competing with many injuries and actually out to do good. And then I've raced on the other dark side where I had a damn problem, dude, and I haven't slept for several days. I did this two times I'm really talking about, and I'm out racing Supercross with like several days of no sleep, dude. I didn't do too good, but I was out there. I was racing. I was riding this.
Wow.
It's kind of scary, bro. I don't know how I even made it on the track, but yeah, there's just something to say about that too. There's no drug testing and nothing, But
yeah, I think
I was in a very dark place. That wasn't like something where I'm proud of, but it did happen.
Yeah, I think that it's there's more strict drug testing now than ever, but
Hmm.
I think they're looking for PEDs and people with they're more worried about people taking steroids and sports enhancing drugs than they are about a deadly prescription or a heroin addiction
Hmm.
out there. But yeah, so after it all came to an end and you stopped racing and I knew you then, and we there's a bunch of us that really knew you and really cared about you, and your dad reached out to us and showed a lot of concern in what we could do to help, and you were out, you were gone, you were off and running. So how bad did it get?
Got real bad real quick, dude. And racing was going great for me. I was on top of the arena cross world. I was winning races consistently, um, and everything was going good. And then off season, I had finished second in the national arena cross series behind Josh Demas. And in the off season, everything was going good, and I was supposed to be back with Suzuki the next year. And I would have bet an arm and a leg that I was going to win the series. And I had my girlfriend at the time. She had some a heart issue, and they had induced her in a coma, and she never came back out of it. She died with the hospital over there in Loma Linda. And my drug problem, yeah, I had been a little rebel and renegade, and I had some issues, but I had bounced back from that and had good years in arena cross. And then when that happened, uh, I didn't know where to go or what to do, and my coping mechanism was drugs and alcohol. And at first, I was just doing it depressed and crying myself to sleep and just taking whatever I could get from some friends and then it just turned into weeks, months, and then next thing you know, like the next season's coming around. I clean up a little bit, try to go race, and I crash in practice. I was crying on the side of the track. I just missed him so much. I was depressed. I didn't know what to do, and I quit racing. I flew home, quit racing, and just jumped right into full blown drug addiction. And it's just mostly OxyContin pills, whatever I get to the doctor from the doctor. Which my doctor, I could get a shitload, enough for a few people. There's no limit. I'd broken a bunch of bones, had good documentation, good story, and this guy would just write me whatever I asked for. And that lifestyle led me to hanging out with some people that probably wouldn't want to be hanging around. People, friends going in and out of prison, and just a couple cool shady characters. And I got to watch a friend do heroin with a needle, and I was just like, well, what's up? Like, how do I do that? Like, I want to try. So I watched them do that, and it was cheaper, it was stronger, and it was kind of more extreme. So I remember once I started shooting heroin, that nothing else, everything else was amateur hour. And yeah, so now I'm shooting heroin, and soon after I fell in love with methamphetamine as well. And yeah, the lifestyle was just ugly, gritty, bro. Like, I'm a liar, shooter, and thief. I'll rob you. I'll beat you up. I'll do whatever it takes. You're looking over your shoulder. You're just doing awful things, dude. I know how I'm still alive today. Definitely am blessed. There's a bigger picture to my story, but yeah, it got ugly. I went to jail a bunch for minor stuff. I had a couple times where I was in a real bad position and looking at getting some real time, and I had got lucky. I had got lucky with getting off the hook there. But everything changes. Everything gets real ugly and dark, and you're no longer living for love and laughter and happiness, and the world's a great place. It's ugly, and you hate people, and you hate yourself, and everyone else is to blame, and how you don't know how you got where you're at, but you're dope sick. You're waking up at 5 in the morning, and you're shivering, or you've been up for weeks, and you're talking to yourself and talking to shadows, and you're scaring the people that are around you. You're getting violent. It's crazy, man. I've been in high speed police chases. I've been in chases where thought I was being chased, and my friend next to me screaming at me like, "You're tripping," and I'm having drug-induced psychosis because I haven't slept in 2 weeks, and I really believe that the minivan next to me is the fucking FBI or something. And I'm not dodging through traffic like cruising on a Sunday cruise. I'm going from emergency lane to emergency lane, from left to right. Like I got a bad start at Glen Helen National, and I'm just pinned, dude. And having a grown man screaming at you, just freaking out, And I've done that a couple times with people and a couple times with myself, and this shit is real, dude. It was really, really, really crazy. A lot of years, and you see the guy at the stoplight talking to himself. And granted, yeah, there's probably some mental illness with most people you see, but that could have been me because I was there. I'm a perfectly normal person, but you had years of drug addiction and no sleep and that lifestyle, and you start getting crazy, bro. You start hearing things, and
Right on. So when was the time that you?
It's a dark place.
Yeah, I bet. I mean, sounds terrible. When was
jail was good at that time, bro. When I got to go to jail, it gave me a break from the shit, from the madness. A little bit further in my life, a prison term would have done me real good. But luckily I was blessed and didn't have to go there.
When do you think that for you, that moment of clarity that they talk about in the program happened for you? Where you just became sick and tired of being sick and tired, and you wanted to make a change in your life?
I ruined Christmas, dude. I had like 3 weeks or a month or something. I'd been battling real hard for a year, going to rehab a couple different times, and then me and my pops, he helped me wean off it a couple times, and I was trying real hard for a year, off and on, and I'd get a couple weeks, and then I'd overdose, find myself in the hospital or the ambulance, and then I'd get a couple weeks, and I'm overdosing regularly now because I'm actually trying to get clean, but then I slip, and then I almost kill myself, and going back and forth, and finally I had like 3-4 weeks again, and I went to my tia's house like every Christmas, and seeing everybody's happy to see me. I'm doing good. I'm alive, and I love you all. And then I leave, and an ex-girlfriend calls me and says, "Hey, come to the hotel, whatever." And it's Christmas Eve, and I blew it, dude. I ended up going. I got loaded. I'm in this hotel room for a few days, and I missed Christmas. When I finally do get reconnected back home, I get a couple days clean, and my nephew looks me dead in the eyes like a little man, and he's mad at me, and he's like, "Dale, why'd you miss Christmas? We were all waiting for you. I was waiting for you to open my presents, and you were supposed to be there." And I'm like, "Damn, dude, it was like a dagger to my heart." This little individual who I love so much, and he just straight up stood up to me like a man, and he's like, I think 6 or 7 or whatever. And it just really hit me in a different way, that hearing my grandma or my dad or my girlfriends or my friends tell me how much they love me and don't want to lose me, and to get your shit straight, like none of that mattered because I didn't really care. They don't know, they don't understand. But when my little nephew hit me with that, it made me take a deeper look into myself, and I actually was like, "What the fuck is going on, bro? Like you've been someone, you've been somewhere, you've lived life, you traveled, you've raced, you're a competitor, and like this shit, like you got this is what's, you're a slave to this shit." And man, I just wanted to try so much harder. I put my all into it, and I didn't go to rehab. I cold turkey. My dad wouldn't allow me in his house no more. He let me sleep in had this old van, I called it the Van Heine, and had this old van totaled in the back of his house, and he let me sleep back there. And I just said, "I'm going to fucking do this no matter what. I'm going to do this. I've been to rehab. I've been all these places. I'm just going to do it." And dude, I just tried my hardest, and by the grace of God, I was able to get clean, and yeah, dude, cold turkey, and just did the damn deal. I started programming, started going to meetings, got a sponsor. I built myself up a support group of healthy individuals and like-minded individuals with the same goal of being clean. All my friends or so-called friends, either my real friends didn't fuck with me no more because I was sketchy. All the friends I called friends at the time were not friends. They were just part of the lifestyle. So the cell phone, I threw the cell phone away. I didn't have a cell phone for my first year of recovery. I had a bicycle and a iPod, a gym membership, and I enrolled in school. I moved to Grandma's house, and I pedaled myself to school every day. I pedaled myself to the gym, and I just focused on family and fellowshipping in AA and NA, and we started going to church and just living healthy. You know, I treated it like racing. A lot of the same attributes about myself that made me a good dirt bike racer, I was able to apply to the fight for my life and my recovery, and thank God I did that.
Yeah, that's I mean, that's such an awesome story. And I mean, I think a lot of people don't really realize, you know, unless you have had an addiction, and how the fight is real. And people don't realize it's real. And for you to do what you did is amazing. It's such an amazing story. But the thing that you know, I mean, I knew what was going on. I was in touch with your dad. You know, I couldn't get a hold of you because you didn't have a cell phone. Anytime I wanted to talk to you, you know, we had to talk on your dad's cell phone. But what made it more amazing to me was after, you know, you had a couple years clean, and you and your dad were, you know, back doing your thing, and your dad hit me up and said, "Hey, I want to get Shane a bike again. I just want him to start riding. You know, we're not trying to go, you know, win national championships. It's just something we did together, and we love riding dirt bikes, and it's something that I enjoy watching my son do." And you know, so I was more than willing to do whatever I had to do to get you a dirt bike. And I'll never forget it. We were coming home from Castillo Ranch. We stopped up in Oxnard, gave you a bike, and your dad, man, I seen your dad light up because he knew that you were happy. And you guys called me after you rode it down the alley as soon as you got home at 10 o'clock at night. And you know, your dad gave me a card to go to Red Lobster, like a $50 gift card that I gave to the mechanics to go eat. And he was just like, so humble and so grateful, like that I stayed your friend and I was there for you. But the amazing thing to me is about 2 weeks afterwards, I get a call from your dad and tells me that you've been stabbed, that you had an altercation, that someone stabbed you and you were fighting for your life pretty much. And after you came through and the surgeries and all that you were sitting there suffering for 2 or 3 days in a hospital bed because you did not want to take pain medicine.
Mm-hmm.
And then,
yeah, dude, I had to. That's the real story, dude. We got that bike, and it was like a gift, man, just to get that back in my life and to be healthy enough to go ride it and to wear. And you know, it was so awesome, and it still is. I only get to go ride like once a month. It's kind of expensive. It kind of takes a lot. I work weekends, but I do try to get out once a month. It's a good thing to do just to get away from the grind. And I love it. It's fun. I still rip. I got a couple laps in me. Good laps. My hands and my arms get tired. But if I was in riding shape, I'd be all right. Go do some vet races maybe. But yeah. And then I got stabbed off a road rage in this road rage scenario. And for the first time in my life, I do have a mouth on me, and I always do like to instigate shit, and I got a pretty good record in the street, so I never really shy away from stuff like that. It's kind of a good time. But for the first time in my life, I have some recovery. I mean, now I've been working these different spiritual principles and trying to be honest and good to people and loving and compassionate and all this shit. And I got this guy, dude, that almost hit me in a semi truck, and I can't get him to stop yelling at me. And he's in the middle of Oxnard, and he's a pretty big dude. And I'm like, man, and I decided to like give him a way out. I'm like, you know what, bro, you're in a semi truck. There's blind spots, you know, just have a good day. And I go to walk away, and he hook and baited me, bro. He said some vulgar shit that just made me snap. I was like, you know what, let's just go ahead and do this then. And so I whooped the dude's ass until he asked me to stop, broke his jaw, and during the process, I guess the reason why he was barking so loud is because he had something in his hand and knew it. And he poked me in the chest, and it got an artery in there and filled up my cavity with blood, and then there's nowhere for the blood to go, so it popped my lung. And then I walk away from the situation thinking I just gave this truck driver a tune-up, and he's going to be a more peaceful, better person in the future. And I pull around the corner and get out the gas station, pass out, and I guess I bled out for like 50 minutes is what we guesstimate, and I barely made it into the hospital room, and they worked on me all night to save me. They did. And then now I'm hooked up to this box pumping the fluid out of my lungs, and I'm in the hospital for actually I think 8 or 9 days. They're pumping me full medication, and then came a pivotal point in my life where now I look back, it actually was strength building, but yeah, I got sent home with a prescription of drugs, and I'm in pain, bro. I'm hurting. I'm way hurting, and I'm not a chick about things like breaking bones and being in the hospitals is like part of second nature to us dirt bikers, but I'm hurting, bro, and I'm taking this medicine, and I'm scared about it. But my sponsor just said to be honest. It was out of my control. Just follow the label, take it as prescribed, like you're supposed to, and I did, and you know. It was the first time in the couple years I had been clean that I had to do such a thing. And there was a point where the voice came back, the dark voice came back in my ear, and I'm holding the bottle and nobody's home. And it's all, just double up. Go ahead. Just get high one time, dude. Just take five. Five's my number. Five Norcos. And I'm riding good, you know? And it was like, just do it. Just take 5. And I swear to God, this voice is screaming at me, just do it. It's okay. You deserve it, you know? And I'm fucking sitting there scared. I'm quiet, silent, and then just then the door opened and my dad had got home, and I fucking set the bottle down and ran downstairs, and was just so stoked to talk to somebody real quick just to get my mind away from it, because I knew I was right there. Like, you walk through that door and who knows what's gonna happen. And yeah, dude, my dad saved me. We strolled in.
No, your dad didn't save you. Your dad didn't save you, bro. You knew who saved you. Your dad didn't save you.
Yeah.
Your higher power did. That's what did it.
Higher power, dude.
The higher power put your dad in that situation at the time in your life, and you were just being tested. That's all. That's all it was, dude. Yeah, dude. Your story is so amazing, but I mean, I feel like we've been in that, you know, in that dark ditch for a little bit now. Let's just close it with this, bro. Why don't you tell us what you're up to nowadays, and how you are trying to give back to, you know, the addiction, and what your plans are, and what a day is like for you now, because I think, you know, this is just amazing to me than you riding your bike and you sleeping in the van and you busting your ass to get clean, and you're still on that path, but in a totally different way.
Oh yeah, bro, I'm grinding, man. I'm freaking definitely all the practice I did doing homework in the truck on the way to the track and sleeping in the Silverado at the races. It's all helping me now, and all that discipline from motocross is helping me now. I drive a Prius, and I'm driving for Uber. That's what I got going. That gig's cool, and I'm taking school books with me. I'm been in school for like 3 years now. I finished my alcohol and drug counselor certificate. I'm just I should have been already in the field working as a drug counselor, but I have some math classes that have me kind of jammed up. I really, really, really cheated myself at a young age. I thought I got over on the system, and I got to get out of school at 9th grade, but my math skills are terrible, and I'm paying for it now. So that kind of sucks, but I got a year of math only, and then I'll have my AS degree, which isn't nothing, but it's something. It's an accomplishment, and from there, I should be working in the field, in the rehab, in the men's rehab somewhere, or maybe youth. I'm not exactly sure where yet. And then from there, I'll continue my schooling and trying to get a bachelor's and go further than that. So, yeah, dude, I freaking wake up every day. I go to the boxing gym 5 days a week. That's my new deal for the last couple of years. I love boxing. It's a supplement for me. I don't get to have motocross in my life as much, but boxing's awesome.
So that's what gets the endorphins going for you, because you can't take the pills no more.
Can't take the pills no more, dude. So I got a couple bros, and we just bang on each other, and it's cool because I'm a student to the game, so I love studying it. It's complex, and I'm an athlete, so I get to use that killer instinct, that made me good at racing, and then it's boxing, it's school, it's homework, it's driving for Uber. I'm doing homework, between calls. Sometimes I don't get a call for 30 minutes. I got the books open, and I'm a family man. I have a good girlfriend. Everything's stable at home. I got a dirt bike I get to go dust off, once a month. And I got a killer 0-1 amateur boxing record. So it took a loss, but we're gonna go do another fight on the 19th here. So things are good, man. I fellowship with people. I have a good network of men that I bounce stuff off of, and they bounce stuff off of me, and that's the one thing I've learned from addiction and life in general is everybody has their stuff, and you got your support group, and you got to put yourself out there in the times, the weak moments or your weak thoughts, and you gotta let other people that aren't in your box see it from outside the box and kind of give you their view on it, because sometimes we're stuck in a dark place and it's foggy and you can't really see straight, or think straight, and you're kind of clouded. And I've learned how to put myself out there really quick, and you bounce back really quick as well, instead of keeping it to yourself and then compounding it with some medication or some alcohol or something, and you never work out of there. Now you got a couple issues going on.
Yeah, dude, that's your story, dude. Like I said, Shane, I've been friends with you for a long, long time. I've seen you go up and down, and I am honored that I can call you a friend, because I try to surround myself with the winners today, and I can definitely think that you're a winner. So
yeah, thank you, brother. You've always been really down to earth, and you've always been a good person and kind of a character, and dude, I appreciate you doing this, and I hope to just spread some kind of awareness. And
how could people get a hold of you? What's your give the people here? I'm not trying to toot any horns here, but we're going to probably get about 20,000 downloads for this thing. And if someone has an issue, or they're having some problems, or they just want to reach out to you and talk to you about, maybe they think they might have a problem, or just to reach out to you, what's the best way to get a hold of you?
And we do that, man, and I hope people do reach out, and people do reach out to me on Facebook and Instagram, Shane Bess on Facebook, and Shane_Bess on Instagram, and I do have a lot of people that hit me up, and I like it. I love it. I've developed some good relationships that way, and the stuff, addiction it can get anyone. No one's above it, There's a
amen, brother.
Yeah, thank you, brother. Love you.
All right, but Shane, hey, thanks for your time, bud. I know that you're probably busy. You're going to go pick up some sweet people in your Uber and the Prius, and let's hook up. My house is your house. Come down for a weekend. Let's hang out, go to a meeting, and go do what we do.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate it.
All right, take care, Shane. Thanks. Last but not least, I would like to thank all the people that make this happen for us. Thank you very much. I would like to thank Team Elite, Coco Pa Casino Resort, Ron's In Your Ear Audio, X Brand, Words Connection, Hart and Huntington Tattoo, Guts Racing, and last but not least, you, the people. Thank you very much for listening. Keep on keeping on. Talk to you soon.
Well, I drank 30 beers for breakfast, cause I'm a bro. And I took a dirt bike to Glamis, cause I'm a bro. I didn't jump one fucking jump, cause I'm a bro. I just talked about the river, cause I'm a bro. And crushed these demons of dirt, cause I'm a bro. I got posters of Vin Diesel, cause he's my favorite bro. And I punch my friends in the arm, because we're bros. Well, I lifted my truck up to the sky, cause I'm a bro. Cause I'm a bro. I give millions to the industry, even though it's ran by the Japanese, cause I'm a bro. Flame tattoos, revving my dirt bike. I talk shit all the time, if your truck is smaller than mine, cause I'm a bro. Well, I've got black socks and sideburns, cause I'm a bro. I bleached my hair and I spiked it, cause I'm a bro. I street race my grandma's Buick, cause I'm a bro. You know Sunday, that guy's a bro.